are so excited to be up here today. First off, I want to thank Darren Hardy and Success Magazine for putting on this awesome event, as well as BK and the Vemma team. Guys, events are so powerful, and this event is all about you and developing as a leader. So really this is the home stretch. Here we are at the afternoon. I know some of us may have some tired eyes, but just rally with us because we're wrapping it up. But, you know, before we get started, I want to share a little bit of our background. As Darren touched on, yes, I'm Tom and Bethany Alkazin's daughter. Yes, I'm Brad's little sister. But that really wasn't, how I came into the Vemma world. I was actually pretty stubborn. I had a chip on my shoulder, kind of wanted to establish myself aside from my family's success. And so I went to college. All right, good idea. Go to college, get a degree. I played volleyball there, loved every moment. Got to meet my best friend and now husband, who was playing basketball at Azusa Pacific. At the time, I was getting my undergrad degree in business. David was finishing up his master's. And we knew the next chapter was to get a job. But what we saw was the job market taking a turn for the worse, as you saw earlier from Darren's illustration. Our friends weren't getting jobs who graduated before us, so we're thinking this is looming, as our college career is coming to a close, our professional career is creeping up on us, what are we gonna do? So fortunately, we did find jobs. I was in sales. David got a great job in management training program. But there was something missing. And it took us a little bit to figure it out, but then we didn't have to look too far. So, two things that were missing for us. I really want you to understand this, is the financial freedom and the time freedom, guys. So priceless. And those were two things my parents modeled flawlessly my 23 years. And so it didn't take us long to realize that we needed to make a change. So David and I sat down with my dad. We set clearly defined goals, guys. So important. Luke touched on it last night, the importance of a goal. You gotta set that. If you haven't yet, do it now. But anyways, set goals and got to work. And it was in a large part to our amazing team and their hard work, as well as the support of our family, that we were able to pursue Vemma full time. And it's been the best decision ever, but it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna stand up here and tell you that it was all rainbows and butterflies. It really wasn't. There was struggle, there was failure, and doubt crept in a lot. But, through that experience, we developed into leaders. So that's where we're here to talk to you today. Leadership, you're not born into it, guys. It's developed. Warren Bennis, a teacher and author on leadership, said, "The most dangerous leadership myth is that leaders are born, that there's a genetic factor to leadership. That's nonsense," he said. "In fact, the opposite is true. Leaders are developed rather than born." So there's nothing miraculous about how we got here, guys. Just because I'm the daughter of pinnacle leaders doesn't mean that I was born knowing what I was gonna do. I was sitting exactly where you are today thinking I could never speak in front of a crowd. Part of my mind saying, what are you doing on stage? But here I am. But honestly, guys, it's been an awesome experience that we've developed into leaders through. But there was a time where I thought, this is impossible. But I hadn't developed into a true leader yet. So on that note, I'm gonna pass it to my wonderful husband to share more on how you can develop into a leader.
Thank you, Amy. I don't know if I'm on. Well, first off, I just wanna say, if you're here today, obviously, Amy touched on it, leaders are not born, leaders are developed. And anyone in this room, no matter where you are right now, you can become a leader, okay? So, a lot of you came in from all over the country to be here, flew in, drove in, maybe outside of the country as well. And, you're thinking, you see the speakers up here, you see a Brad Alkazin, you see an Alex Morton, and you're thinking, I could never become that person. I could never lead a group like them. I could never speak in front of so many people like them. I could never get to that level. And the first thing you have to know is that's not true. That's a false mindset. That you need to get that out of your mind, because the only thing that's going to hold you back from developing into a true leader, from developing into a top leader in this company, is that false belief that someone else was born with something that you're not born with, that someone else was born with some power that you don't have, okay? And so I see that, let's go. I see that it's easy, when you see someone up on stage or someone giving a great presentation, it's easy to think, how do I get to that point? How can I do that? But we're limiting ourselves when we don't realize our own potential. Everyone here has amazing potential to do literally whatever we want to do. We're all unique. We all have our own natural talents and abilities, but we all have unlimited potential to do literally whatever we set our mind to doing. So don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to anyone on this stage, because at one point, everyone on this stage was where you are now. Whether you have the momentum, you're building an awesome business, whether you have been in the business for a while, but you're feeling a little bit stuck. Maybe you feel like you're sliding backwards. Everyone up here at one point has felt stuck, okay? Maybe you just got started, and you feel like you have no idea what's going on. You're starting from zero. We all start from zero. When I got started, I had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely no idea, but that was okay, because over time, over practice, leadership, like anything else, is something you develop, you learn through experience. Take a look at Brad Alcazan. Brad Alcazan today is not the same Brad Alcazan from 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, or last year. Brad's been consistent year over year, day over day, and that's why he's developed into the leader he is today. So the thing to keep in mind is that leadership, in anything, but especially, here in Vemma, it's not a moment. It's not the moment that you hit, presidential. It's not the moment that you hit ambassador or a certain rank in the company. Leadership is not a moment. Leadership is a process, okay? It's a process of having a goal in mind and reaching towards that goal. And in that process, there's going to be a lot of failure. And that's okay, because sometimes in this process, it starts off as failure. But that's all right, because the ones who make it, the ones who develop into top leaders in this company, are the ones that stay consistent. They're the ones that make the decision to continue to grow as leaders. Because they made that decision, they develop. And because they developed, they've been able to achieve, so much. Really quickly, I'm going to touch on the 4 points that we have for how to develop into a leader. Number one is you have to have faith in yourself. You've got to believe that you can be a leader, that you have what it takes. And like I said before, everyone has absolutely everything that they need to become a leader. You just have to believe it, all right? There's no reason why someone else can do this and you can't. There's absolutely no reason. You have to believe, number one. Number two, time. You need to give yourself time to develop. Leadership isn't something that can be taught through, you don't sit in a classroom and learn leadership. Leadership is only learned through experience. You learn leadership as you're consistently working towards that goal. Over time, you're going to develop into a leader. Number three, you've got to be self-aware. You've got to dig deep and figure out what you really want. What do you really want to do? One of the reasons why there's so few leaders in anything is not enough people take the time to really think about what they want. Not enough people take the time to identify their unique vision, their unique purpose in your life. If you don't identify your vision or your purpose, then you're not going to reach your purpose. You're not going to turn into that person, okay, that you were meant to become. And lastly, guys, dreams. Leaders dream. On a regular, consistent basis, leaders take the time to sit down, put aside all the day-to-day problems, step aside from the routine, the daily trivia that we face in life every day, and they think about life as they really want to live it. Life as the best that they can imagine it. How would you live your life if money wasn't an issue? How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? Okay, and that's what leaders do. All right, and so when you're doing that, guys, what you think about grows. Okay, what you're working towards, what you want others on your team to work towards, is the development as a person, the development as a leader. And as you develop into the leader, everything that you could ever want and hope to achieve, that's all going to become true. All right, so everyone can do it. It takes time. Become self-aware and dream, and you'll get there. Guys, have a great 2014. Thank you.